Thank you. Oh, look, that's making me smile. Talk to you tomorrow.
It's where we'll be safe. La lucha que tú dai. I pray we'll find your light. Nel cuore resterà. And hold it in our heart. Ricordarci che when stars go out each night, turn our stella se. Remind us where you are. Nella mia preghiera. Let this be our prayer. Quanto fede c'è. When shadows fill our days, needs to find a place. Guide us with your grace. Give us faith so we'll be saved. Sogniamo un mondo senza più violenza. Un mondo di giustizia, di speranza. Ognuno dialogo, ognuno suono vicino, simbolo di pace, di fraternità. Forza che ci dà let this be our end. Let this be our prayer. Just like every child. Just like every child needs to find a place. Guide us with your grace. Give us faith so we'll be saved. Ella fede che hai acceso noi. Sento che ci sono.
It's beautiful.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Can you guys hear me okay? Hey, Miss Martha. The young lady that you guys just heard singing, she's a member of our group. Her name is Geneva Renee. She's a professional singer. She's over in the DMV area. And she just did that like a couple of days ago. I think it's somewhere in DC. So I'm
Like
hoping
national
if she gets an opportunity to join us one evening, she'll give us a concert.
That would be beautiful.
But she's phenomenal. No, I just thought it'd be nice to open it up with that.
Yeah.
One other thing before we get started, I do want to just honor Judge Ginsburg again. So just a moment.
When we were in law school, there were no women judges. So the bench was not something to which women aspired unless you were a dreamer. People ask me, when would you be satisfied with the number of women on the court? When there are 9. For most of the country's history, they were all white men.
The announcement the president just made is significant, I believe, because it contributes to the end of the days when women, at least half the talent pool in our society, appear in high places only as one-at-a-time performers.
Here are the most important judges in the country, maybe the world. Instead of getting nervous, I had a sense of empowerment. I knew a lot more about gender discrimination than the 9 of them did.
In my lifetime, I expect to see 3, 4, perhaps even more women on the High Court bench, women not shaped from the same mold, but of different complexions.
It holds the most hope for the world. If countries allow women to do, as I said, whatever their God-given talent enables them to do, I think we will all be better off for it.
You recently became the first justice to officiate a gay marriage.
If two people love each other, why should the law put up a no sign? Restrictive abortion laws operate against poor women. The woman's right to choose for herself, to determine her life's course, her own destiny. If I am notorious, it is because for the first time in history, it became possible to urge before courts successfully to regard women as persons equal in stature to men. If I had any talent in the world, any talent that God could give me, I would be a great diva. I hope people will think of me as a good judge who tried with whatever ability I have to interpret the law wisely and to keep it in tune with the people that law exists or should exist to serve. In law school, there were no women judges.
What a loss.
Yes.
What a loss. What a week. What a year. So it's just so much
2020
going
gone.
on and so many things we can all talk about. And plus we have someone sharing their testimony. But before we get started, we do have a couple of new members on this evening that I would like for them to say hello and introduce themselves and maybe say a little bit about themselves. The first person, you can't see her, her name is Vanessa Hogan. She's from Boston. And actually her father and my aunt are a couple. They've been together for years. For years. And it's really funny because he doesn't hear that well and she's legally blind. So they are funny together. So Vanessa, we can't see you, but here are the ladies. I don't know if you can see them or not, but would you just maybe like to say a couple of words to introduce yourself? Can you hear? Looks like she's trying to. Okay, well, while I'm waiting for Vanessa, we have another young lady on here, Antoinette, and I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear.
Okay, so oh yeah, then how you doing? Antoinette and I just met about 3 weeks ago in another group. And we connected because I had put out there that I was a breast cancer survivor and she is too. So maybe one day we'll get her to share her story. And she's in North Carolina.
Yes, hi everybody.
Hi.
Hi.
Welcome.
So she came to my laughter yoga session on Saturday.
Yeah,
Okay,
had a really good time.
I'll have to do it for the group again. Vanessa, can you hear me? Or okay, I know she's on here. So like I said, I don't even know where to start because there's just so much going on. And it is just really something. But I will start by saying this for those of us that live in Maryland. My phone rang, my landline rang this morning about 9:30 this morning. I was like, who in the world is calling me at 9:30 in the morning? And I looked at the caller ID and it said AARP. And they said they were having a town hall meeting about the upcoming election. So it gave you an option to join. And so I did, and I'm glad that I did because it was very, very informative. They will, in Maryland, they will start sending out the absentee ballots today, as a matter of fact. And the other thing you guys need to remember, if you did request an absentee ballot, you have to sign it the way your voter's registration card is. So, for example, my name is Barbara Jean Palmer, and that's on my voter's registration. But if I just put Barbara Palmer, that would not be an acceptable vote. So just be really, really careful about that. Early voting will start on October 26th. It starts at 7 o'clock in the morning, and it will end at 8 o'clock at night. And you'll be able to do it on the weekends as well.
Okay.
And there's actually going to be 10 locations available, large locations for you to vote. And it doesn't matter where, it doesn't matter like you have to go to your regular district or not, because that's probably not even going to be open. So you will have a choice as to where you go to vote. If you know anyone that have not registered to vote, October 13th is the last day. You'll be able to register to vote. And there's going to be a total of 280 boxes they're going to put throughout Maryland that you will be able to actually cast your ballot in. So for those of you who did not request a absentee ballot, you're going to get a sample ballot in the mail to show you how you're supposed to fill it out. Now, this is the only thing. If you, let me let somebody in. If you have requested an absentee ballot and then decide you want to go in person, then you're going to have to do what they call a provisional ballot. So like everybody keeps saying, we're just going to have to plan to vote because they're going to try to stop us from voting, not make our votes count. So I know all my ladies are registered, so I'm not even worried about it. So before we get started, I see a member. She was actually don't even try to hide. This young lady, Gwen Parker. I used to work with Gwen Parker, and Gwen Parker was one of the first people I added when I decided to start the group. And of course, she ain't never show her face up in here.
God.
So that's all right. You should be ashamed. You should be ashamed. But this is what I will say about Gwen. Gwen knows I'm very passionate about cancer and about cancer patients, and she knows my volunteer work. And by the way, Karen Seabury, Gwen Parker is the one that used to give me the wigs to bring down to you. This is Gwen Parker. Yeah. Yeah.
Hey.
Karen is on here, but you can't see her. But Gwen is the one that used to give me all the beautiful wigs.
Oh, yes.
Yes, her. Yeah.
I kept saying, why do I know that name? That's why.
Yep. So she is the one. So Gwen, thank you so much. It's so nice to see you this evening. And I guess I ought to thank Diane, your friend Diane Church, for that.
My sorority sister.
She pushed you. She came last week. So it's really nice to see you.
It's good to see you all too. I thought about it, and you shamed me so bad. I mean, you really did shame me.
That's my intention.
Like two sorority sisters that signed up, and you said, "Well, I hope y'all signed. I hope she can." That sounds like too. She ain't been. I mean, and I'm like, why you put all that on Facebook?
That's right.
So
to make you feel bad, and you showed up.
I did, bandana and all. I just you know, I'm here.
But I just really think that with all that's going on, and I know personally I need the support because it's been really hard for me, especially the past week or so. And actually, speaking about that, let me give you a couple of updates on a couple of our members. You guys know there is one member in our group by the name of Patrice Antoinette. She's the one that has numerous health issues, and her mother has the dementia. Well, she sent me a text message on Friday to let me know what's going on, and she told me I could share it with you guys. She said on the 9th, on the 8th of September, her father was helping the technician bathe her mother, and her father passed out. And both her mother and father fell to the floor. Now her mother has dementia and is bedridden. The paramedics arrived, and Patrice had to convince her father to go to the hospital. Her mother's vitals were not good, but her mother was not injured. They wanted to keep her father in the hospital to run tests, but he checked himself out and caught a cab home because he knew Patrice would not pick him up. So she said the good news is, because Patrice has so many things going on, and one of the things that has happened to her is she had a mastectomy about a year ago, and her mastectomy scar has opened and it's infected. So that's just one of the many things she's dealing with. So she says she got the results back from her bone marrow biopsy, and thank God it's not bone cancer.
Wonderful, gracious.
She has some type of bone infection that's difficult to treat and very painful. So she started her IV therapy treatment last Tuesday, and she will have to get those done twice a week. So, and then she says, as far as her mother is concerned, her mother is an inpatient at a unit that only for 5 days. Her mother's going to be in an inpatient unit. So her dad, the father, has a little breather. She said her mother is the only patient in a 7-bed facility, so she's being pampered. She said, on the other hand, and this is kind of cute, she said, on the other hand, her father self-diagnosed himself by using the internet. He said one of the medications was causing him to be dizzy, no appetite, and headaches. So he doesn't take the medication anymore, and voila, he's cured. He's fine now. The other thing that had me upset was there is another lady that's in our group. Those of you who come fairly regularly, there's an older white woman in the group named Lisa, and she shared her story about her alcoholism. And so she communicates with me all the time by IM. And so I had contacted her on Friday to see if she was coming to the laughter yoga session because she had not registered. So I contacted her Friday, and she told me she hadn't been feeling well all week. She had a really, really bad headache. So Saturday evening early, I texted her back to see if she was feeling any better, and she didn't contact me back. So I got concerned. I called her. I left her voicemail. I don't know anybody in her family. And speaking about that, I think one of the things I want you ladies to do, if it's okay with you, maybe by the next day or so, please send me your name, your email address, your telephone number, and a contact person, so I can create a document and put it in the files in the group. Because Lisa really had me worried, and I had no way to contact her, but I did know where she lived, and I called the development where she lived, and of course none of them were working because of COVID. So they gave me the number to the headquarters to call, and I called them. They weren't open either because of COVID. So I'm like, what in the world am I going to do? So then Baltimore has this thing called Baltimore Well Check. If you're 65 years old, you can sign up where they will call you once a day to make sure you're okay. And if they don't hear from you, they call your contact person, and if needed, they will do a wellness checkout to your property. So I was on hold waiting for them. And then she finally got in touch with me that she was okay. So anyway, you know, you just never know in this day and age what's going to happen or anything.
Right.
Who is Tia? Oh, Tia, is that the Tia I used to run with? Yeah, she's not saying anything. Okay, so I'm going to shut up. And one of our members are going to give her testimony today. And Sharon, as I told you, I don't have to make you kick. We won't get kicked out because I thought you guys was worth me paying up for the plan. So you can talk as long as you want. So
Okay.
before you start sharing your community, before you start talking and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself, I just want to do this.
Ah. That's my picture from Dubai.
Yeah, now I didn't see it on your page. I went on your page and I saw another picture, your most recent picture.
Uh-huh.
I couldn't get that to fit, and I wasn't going to go through all of it with Tanya. I tried to do all that stuff. So I said, the heck with it. And I already had this picture of you when we first started the group. So there you are. So Sharon, I'm gonna turn it over to you.
Yeah.
And you know, you can tell us a little bit about yourself, and
Right.
and if you don't mind, if anybody have any questions
Okay.
for you. Okay.
Sure, that's fine. Good evening, everyone. My name is Sharon. I think most of you know me by now. That picture was taken in January, and I traveled to Dubai, by Abu Dhabi, Qatar, and there was one more. Can't think right now, but anyway, it was a wonderful trip. It was a trip of a lifetime. And lo and behold, now that we're back, and apparently the coronavirus was out there at that time because we were actually on a cruise ship once we got there, but thank God we made it home before they shut everything down. So anyway, I have a daughter and a son, and Barbara and I know each other from Baltimore Gas and Electric. We've never worked together, but we both work at Baltimore Gas and Electric. And I think I had actually seen Barbara at a meeting or something because I recognized her face, but I never really had an opportunity to meet her. But I'm glad that a mutual friend of ours shared the group, and I joined. And I, like Barbara mentioned a couple of weeks ago, I've been attending the group meetings and she hasn't. I really enjoy the group, and I really appreciate everyone that's within the group, and everyone has shared, you know, trials and tribulations and ups and downs in life, and that's life, you know. But anyway, at the age of 21, my story is at the age of 21, I became pregnant with my daughter. And I started having issues with my breathing. And my heart was racing a lot and things like that. So I went to the hospital and they checked me out. And they said, oh my gosh, they said, you have rheumatic heart disease. So I said, well, what is that? And they said, well, you apparently at some point in time had strep throat. And the only time I really remember being sick as a child with a really high fever was around the age of 12, 13. And it was right around the holidays, Christmas, and I was sick. So that's why I remember it so well, because I was so sick that I really didn't participate in everything that was going on with the family at that time. But anyway, lo and behold, I apparently had strep throat and went unattended, meaning that I did not get an antibiotic. My mother back then, I just remembered everything that she cured, that anything that we had, she cured it with those Bayer aspirins, those little orange Bayer aspirins. We took lots and lots of those. And she would always tie on one of those, I don't even know how to pronounce it, affinity belts or bags or something like that. It was garlic and all this other stinky stuff. And she would put a pin on us and tie it to our shirts or whatever. And that was supposed to cure or kill any kind of viruses or germs or whatever. But anyway, my mother had, well, at that time, she had 9 children, but it was the second group of us were home, myself, my sister, my 2 brothers, and my mom. And my mother was a single mother. So anyway, you know, that was just a lot for her to deal with. So anyway, the cure-all was severe aspirin, and it apparently did not work. So I didn't know that I had rheumatic heart disease until I became pregnant and started having complications. And it was so severe at the time that they put me on bed rest during my pregnancy. And they said if I didn't go on bed rest, I would probably lose a child, maybe go into cardiac arrest and die. So anyway, I went on bed rest, stayed in bed for like 6-7 months. I don't know, it was a long time. And delivered my baby without any real complications. But that was she was born December 28th. And then I had my first open heart surgery in August of 1978. So needless to say, being a very young lady at that time, I'm afraid, you know, I didn't know what was going to happen. And the heart is your lifeline. You don't have a heart, you're dead. So I was very young, and I'm like, I was 21, so my mother kind of let me just deal with it on my own. I don't remember really getting any real guidance as to what to do other than my doctor saying, you got to have open heart surgery, but we don't want to do it now because if we do, you may lose your baby. So right after she was born in December, August, I had the first surgery. It was scary, but I was young, so I guess I really didn't think about, you know, that I could die. But my mother was a praying woman. My sisters, we were all in church. So I know my mother probably had my minister pray for us and pray for me. So I don't remember being really afraid, but not terribly afraid about it. I just felt like I was going to make it through it. And I did, of course, because I'm still sitting here. That was at the age of 21. So now I'm only 23. So that was just a couple years ago. So anyway, my surgery was very long. It was very painful. They did not do the surgery the normal way that they normally do surgery, was to cut a person down, straight down the cavity, the front chest. They cut me under the breast up to my back. Oh. I was kind of happy about that because now I don't have a scar, right? So I can still show my cleavage and everything. I'm 21 years old. I gotta show some cleavage and look sexy. So I'm like, oh, maybe they did it for that reason. But apparently that really wasn't the reason. They did it that way because it was the easiest way to access my aorta valve, which is your main artery that takes blood to your heart and away from your heart. And then mitral, those were the two valves that were severely damaged. So they cut me and they went in and they opened up those two valves, especially the aorta. The aorta had narrowed to the point where it was so tight that my blood was flowing backwards into my body. And that's why I was having all the issues with my breathing and up and I went in the hospital. I don't know, I was in there for a pretty long period of time because my lungs collapsed. I do remember that. And it kept collapsing because it was really difficult to cough. And they wanted me to cough every day. And I found it extremely painful to do. So they would come and beat me on the back. And that helped, but it wasn't enough to really prevent my lungs from collapsing. So they collapsed several times as a result of mine not being. I really tried, but it was really hard and really painful. So anyway, I think I spent about a month in the hospital or something like that. And a couple other little things would happen. My sister was laughing at me and she talked about it. She didn't laugh at the time, but she laughed when I got better and told me she thought I was going to be, she called me retarded. She said I was going to be retarded because I had this shaking sensation and I couldn't stop. And I'm not sure why that was, but I guess it's because they had cut so many nerves and they were all healing at the time. So I had this shaking going on for a long period of time. And I just remember my sister looking at me but she would always smile, but I could see the concern in her face because you know, I didn't know what I looked like or how they saw me. And I just know that I was really sick and was just trying to get better. So anyway, I got better and it took a while. When I got back to my daughter, she didn't recognize me anymore. She really kind of didn't want to be dealing with me, actually, because my mother was taking care of her. So she had become pretty attached to my mom. So we had to build that bond again. And of course we did. So as time went on, you know, I felt much, much, much better. And they said to me, you know, you're going to have that surgery again at some point in time, probably within 20 years, because they only opened the valve. They didn't replace the valve, which was a good thing because back then they used PIGS valves to replace aortas and things like that. They use a PIGS valve and they don't have a long life. So gratefully, you know, I just look at it as if God was definitely watching over me because I didn't know what I was doing, what I was agreeing to. I just said, okay, if you say I need this done, okay, do it. So, you know, it was a scary time. It was a very scary time for a young person. But even though I know there's a lot of people who have had surgeries like this, much younger than me, but it's a very scary time to have someone to take out your heart, completely take it out. You're clinically dead. They put you on a air-lung machine to keep you alive because your heart can't beat while they're working on it because it has to be still. So they take it out and they go in and they make the you know, corrections, and then they put it back and then they shock you and they hope that you come out and be alive. Well, I did. So anyway, I really hadn't had any concerns. I just kind of, when you're young, you just kind of feel like you're invincible, even though I knew I had this heart condition, but I just felt like I'm going to be okay. I just never, I thought about the fact that I could die, but I guess I just didn't worry about it so much because it was out of my control. All I could do was do everything that they told me to do, keep my weight down, eat healthy, don't smoke, moderate drinking, you know, not a lot of stress in your life. I tried to do all of that. So that apparently worked for me because I tried to maintain I lost weight, and because I used to be pretty heavy back in the day, probably right around that time I was much heavier than I am today. But I didn't lose the weight necessarily because of my heart, but I did, but I lost it because I just didn't like carrying around all that weight. I was just too fat. And I just managed to keep it off for many, many years. So anyway, I went on with my life. Didn't worry about much of anything. I mean, in the back of my mind, I can't forget that I have a heart condition. It's very serious, but I just didn't fret about it so much. I just prayed about it and said, God, just take care of me. But they said 20 years, I would have to have another surgery. So of course I was counting the years. Okay, we're getting closer to 20. So that was 78. So 1998 would have been 20 years. So 20 years, 19 years came, I felt good. 20 years came, I felt good. 30 years came, I felt good. And 5 years ago, I started acting up. I used to walk those steps at work all the time. That was my exercise in the morning at LBB building. I would walk from the downstairs up to the second floor. And I started noticing that I couldn't walk those steps without getting short-winded again. I said, okay, what's going on here? I said, well, maybe it's because I'm not exercising, or, you know, because I had gotten a little lazy with my exercises. And I said, well, maybe it's just because, it's just rationalizing, hoping that it wasn't what I was thinking was happening to me again. And so I continued to walk up and down the steps anyway, pushed myself. but I really did realize that my breathing and the shortness of breath was getting more intense. So one day I had gone to volunteered at a Ravens game with Baltimore Gas and Electric. And I parked my car down at Spring Gardens. Barbara knows where that is. I parked it there and I walked over to the stadium. But in order to get from Spring Gardens to the stadium, you had to walk like this hill to get up to it. So I didn't realize that my breathing and everything that was going on was so bad until I really took that long walk. And I'm really struggling, and I'm struggling, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is not good. And so I made it up to the stadium, but I was really exhausted. And I didn't really say anything to anybody in my family at all. I didn't say anything, but I contacted my cardiologist and I said, you know, I don't know what's going on, but I'm really having a hard time walking. You know, I'm getting short of breath. So he said, okay, well, come in, we'll do an electrocardiogram and an echo. An echo is where they actually do it's sort of like a sonogram when a person is pregnant and they can see the baby. Well, in a echocardiogram, they can actually see your valves and see your blood flowing, and it gives your heart rate. You can hear your heart beating, the swishing sound. You know, they know what they're listening for. They can hear sounds that I don't pick up on. I could just tell that it was offbeat. And because I could hear it skipping beats. And I'm like, okay. And then I had this guy who would always, this technician who would do my echocardiogram, and he wasn't tactful at all. He would say, oh man, your valves are really bad. This doesn't look too good. You know, it made me scared. You know, he would just say things like, and I mean, okay, if you see that, but maybe you shouldn't tell me about it right now. I'm like, you know, he was so abrupt with it. And it was like, oh gosh. But then I realized that was just the way that he was, but he was really telling the truth. They were pretty bad. And so my doctor ordered a second echocardiogram. And in addition to that, he requested that I do this stress test. And they will hook up these wires to me and do the echo. I will be on this treadmill, and they would have all these wires attached. And then they would be checking my heart rate and my breathing, and also looking at the screen to see how my heart is pumping and functioning, and how my vitals are doing. So anyway, he scheduled this for me, and then when the technician saw my echocardiogram, he refused to do it. He said, nope, I won't do it without your doctor here, and I will not do it without someone else professionally here, because I think this is pretty serious, and I don't want you to, you know, to go into cardiac arrest and we don't have the necessary staff here to help you. Oh. So he rescheduled me, and I went back in, and my doctor was there, and his PA physician assistant. They put me on the treadmill. They had him in there doing his thing. They hooked up all these leads, and they put me on this treadmill. And I started to walk really slowly, and I felt okay. But then they kicked it up a notch, you know, elevated it a little bit and kicked it up a little, just a slight bit, really. And I nearly passed out. I couldn't even hang on the treadmill for any period of time. So they actually had to basically carry me off the treadmill over to the bed. And then and then at that time I was pretty convinced that, okay, I'm at that point now. And it had been, that was 78, and I had the surgery, I'll tell you that in a minute, and 5 years ago. So that was 2015. So I went far longer than they thought I would have to go, that I would go with the first surgery. So anyway, after my meeting with, my cardiologist, he said, okay, we're at that point. You're going to have your second open heart surgery. And I said to him, oh, how are you going to do it? I said, are you going to go back this way again? Or are you going to go this way? He said, oh, no, we're going to have to go this way. I said, oh, no. Of course, I didn't want to scar down my chest, and I really don't want to scar down my chest. But I thank God that I'm alive. But it's my battle scar. But the only horrible thing about it is I keloid. So I have a pretty nasty scar there. And so you'll never see my chest exposed, really. Because and before I even started the story, I should have told you guys that I've always been very private about this, because at the age of 21, when I would go into the doctor's office for my appointments, I was always the youngest one there. Everybody that was in the office was old people. And I felt kind of like, oh, I shouldn't be here. This is something old people would go through. And they would always say, what are you doing here? People would ask me, what are you doing here? And I said, well, I have a heart condition, and I'm here because I've had it for quite a long time now, and I've been dealing with it. But there's so many things that has happened that throughout this journey with my open heart surgery. But anyway, when my doctor realized that it was time for me to have my surgery in 2015, he said, okay, we've got to contact Johns Hopkins, and we're going to get you connected with the best open heart surgeon in the world. And I said, okay, that's exactly what I want, because I don't want nobody messing up, because I plan to live a long time. So he connected me with, and he scheduled the appointment within weeks of this procedure, this thing that he had me to do in his office. And went into Dr. Cameron, was my cardiologist at Johns Hopkins Hospital. And he sent my records along with a video recording. It's amazing technology now. They can see everything. So he sent a CD and a video recording of my heart and everything. So when I got there, Dr. Cameron, broke it down to me. He said, yeah, your heart's in pretty bad shape. And we need to get you in as soon as we can. That was in, let me see, February. February is when I went to him. I had my surgery in April. So I went to him and he said, we need to get you in as quickly as possible. But I had to do a lot of things to prepare for it. So that dragged on for like a couple of months. The good thing is I was able to donate my own blood just in case I need to have a transfusion. And maybe I did have one. I don't even really know. I'm sure I lost quite a bit of blood. So they probably did give do that transfusion with my own blood. So I was able to donate my own blood for I think I did that maybe 4 or 5 times at Johns Hopkins still. There's a lot of preparations going into getting open heart surgery. I had to make sure, I had to get a written okay from my dentist that everything was okay with my gums and teeth. Because if your gums and teeth or anything like that is infected, that could cause infection in your heart and definitely could take you out. I had to give myself injections prior to my surgery in the belly. I hated that with a passion. The needle didn't hurt really, but it was just the fact that I had to do it and it was horrible. So I had to do that for like 2 weeks leading up to the surgery. I had to keep sterilizing my body prior to the surgery. They gave me all kinds of wipes and things that I had to, continually clean my body to get rid of certain whatever. The night before, the day of. So anyway, April 6th was my date. On April 5th, and of course I'm nervous and a little scared, but I prayed. A lot of people were praying for me, so I wasn't going to worry about it. I said, it's in God's hands. Whatever it is, it's going to be. I had no choice. So I prayed about it, went to my prayer warriors at my church. They prayed for me. April 5th, I get a call from Johns Hopkins saying the night before my surgery that they had to cancel it. And I said, what? Because you had to mentally prepare yourself for this. I mean, I had to really mentally prepare myself for this. I really did. And my son had come home. He was in the military at the time, so the military had released him to come home and be with me. And so he was on leave, and he only got 2 weeks. So they're canceling my surgery, and he's here. And I was like, well, how long will it be before you reschedule it? And they said, oh, we'll do it in 3 days. So on April the 9th is when they rescheduled it. Went in like 5 o'clock in the morning. And, you know, I was nervous, but still thanking God that I was still alive in spite of everything that I was about to go through. And I just prayed and I said, God, just bring me through it. That's all it could do. And so they took me in early in the morning, and they make you wait such a long darn time. So I think I went in at 5. I think when they finally did my surgery, because they were behind, I think it was like 12, 1 o'clock, something like that. So all day long, you just sit there waiting. And so they finally take me back. My son was there and a best friend, and my daughter had to work. So I said, don't come, I'll be okay. Just come later. The surgery was probably about 6 or 7 hours, I think, something like that. And I don't remember anything much about it, except I remember when they stood me up and I realized I was alive, because I don't remember anything before that. I remember them coming into my room and standing me up, and I looked, and my son was sitting on a chair, and I gave him a thumbs up. And that's all I remember after coming out. And my son was sending text messages to family and friends, telling them everything was good. Mom's out, mom's doing this, mom's doing that. And I just remember seeing him and thanking God, because I said, first I said, am I in heaven or am I really alive? So when I started talking and I realized, I said, I'm alive. And I looked over at my son, and I was just smiling. And I was just happy to be alive again. Because again, that heart had to come out. They had to put me on a some machine to breathe for me while they repaired my valve. This time, they installed a mechanical valve. So I have a mechanical valve that's working for me. And then they did something, that's the aorta, which is the one that opens like this, it opens like this. And now my mechanical valve is there. And I'll have to tell you a funny story when I'm done with this. And then they did something to my mitral. So I have to carry these two, none of them are metal. So when I go through a airport or anything like that, I don't trigger any bells and whistles. So that's a good thing. But I have to carry a little card, 2 cards with me to say that I have these mechanical valves, and if anything were to happen, someone needs to be notified. And so anyway, my recovery was pretty good. I think they had me up and walking within a couple of days. And I was eager to walk because I'm like, this is not going to get me down. And I got up and I started walking, and they walked me, and I felt really, really good. And I still feel good today. I actually am able to walk without any breathing issues right now. If I have any, it's because I don't work out and do my exercise like I should, but it's not because of my heart valves. And I ask and pray to God that he just keep it strong until I'm about 115 or something like that. And because I don't want to have to go through another surgery like this. I really don't. But I thank God that I am here. He has brought me through a lot. When I had my daughter, I didn't think about, like I said, I didn't think about dying. But when I had my son, that was more on my mind because I was older. And I was like, oh my gosh, my ex-husband died when my son was 14. And I'm like, well, if something were to happen to me, who's going to take care of my son? And I have two dear friends. And you know I love my family. But my son are very close, and Barbara knows Larry and Wanda Dotson. They're my best friends. I love them. And we're very close, and they have two sons that are around my son's age. And they grew up together. So I told my Wanda and Larry, I said, if something were to happen to me, you've got Dorian. So I remember Wanda saying, are you just gonna tell me that? I said, yeah. But she was okay with it. I meant it. I said, I want my son. I want you to raise my son, because I had to make preparations because I didn't know. But thank God he's 30 years old now. He doesn't need a babysitter anymore. So that's pretty much my story. But I want to tell you this. I was at work one day, and Barbara, you may know this guy, Calvin Little. Do you know Calvin Little? So we were in the hallway talking. And so he says, what's that? What is that ticking? And I said, what are you talking about? He said, you don't hear it? He said, what is that ticking? And I knew what it was my valve. If you silence the room and get close to me, you can actually hear it ticking. And another person heard it ticking one other time, a young girl with those good ears heard it ticking. And I said, I don't hear it, but I wasn't gonna, like I said, I was private. I'm private about it. I don't really tell everybody. But you ladies are special, so I've shared that with you. But I haven't really told very many people that are not close to me about my open heart surgery. And so Calvin says, what is that ticking? And Calvin's military, right? So he's running around, he's looking, I think he's looking for almost. It was so funny, and I didn't tell him. I said, Calvin, I don't know, I don't hear it. He said, you don't hear it? And he gets up close to me, he said, it's coming from you. So I said, oh, it must be my watch. But anyway, that was hilarious because he was like looking around for a bomb. I know he was. He had that military ear and he was looking and and I felt so bad because to it with him, you know. But anyway, that's my story. And I thank God every day when I wake up, because I know what I have is a life-threatening disease. And I do have to be very careful when I go to the dentist. I have to medicate with antibiotics all the time. If I have to have any kind of surgeries, I have to shoot myself up with all kinds of needles to prevent any type of blood clots. Because on top of that, I have what they call AFib. So, and my doctor would not allow them to shock my heart back into rhythm. I'm not sure why, but that was his choice. And it's no guarantee that it would actually get it back into the rhythm. So my heart is irregular. So as a result of that, I have to take medication to prevent me from developing blood clots. And I get tested on a regular basis. Monthly it was, but here lately, because of the coronavirus, it's been like every 2 months. But I have to be careful about certain things that I eat, spices that I use. I can't drink a lot of alcohol, which I've never done, but even if I drink wine, I have to kind of balance it because it could thin my blood and I could bleed to death and things like that. So anyway, that's my story. And I thank God for being here. And thanks for listening.
And we thank you. I'm going to unmute you guys, but before I do, can you please make sure that you don't have your TV on, your radio on, that everything's off, and I'll unmute you so you can ask whatever questions you may have. Just a second. Can you guys unmute yourself?
Yes.
Okay, so you can unmute yourself. And first of all, Sharon, I just want to thank you for trusting us with your story. And I know it probably wasn't an easy thing for you to do, but we appreciate you. And I really appreciate you because you have been to every single one of these meetings. You have not missed a meeting. And as you stated, a mutual friend of ours told you about it. I ain't seen her butt since the group started.
Right.
But you had mentioned something earlier when you were sharing your story that none of us really like scars, but I don't want you to look at your scars as something ugly.
Right.
You need to look at your scars as something that tried to kill you, but you survived it. You were stronger than whatever happened to you.
Yes.
So you really are a blessing, and God has kept you here for a reason.
Yes, he has.
And so that is really a tremendous story. But I'm curious, is that a condition that anyone else in your family had, as far as you know?
No, it was caused by strep throat.
Wow.
Strep throat.
At such a young age.
Strep throat.
And how old was your daughter at the time?
I was pregnant with my daughter when they diagnosed me. And she was just a few months old 8 months old when I had my first surgery.
Wow. And see, look at her. That's the main reason why we should not judge people, because we never know what they've been through or what we've gone through.
Yeah.
And all these years, I've seen her always smiling, always friendly, never had anything negative to say, but just listen to her story.
Because God is good, and I have to be grateful. I have to be grateful. God, like you said, he's kept me here for a reason, a purpose. I don't know what it is other than to just be me and I just love people. I love people. I always have. And I really do. Every morning when I wake up and plant my foot on that floor, I just say, thank you, Jesus, because I know.
Get a Paulette about that purpose thing before I do. Go ahead, Paulette.
You heard what I just
Preach,
said. Find that
Paulette.
purpose. You heard what I just said. Find that purpose, girl.
Yes.
We all are here for a purpose.
Yes.
Right.
And you need to define your purpose so that you can know how to serve. God has a plan for your life, and you need to know what that is and live it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Amen.
And I think part of your purpose may be what you went through with your heart. And especially with young people, you might even want to think about becoming an ambassador to the American Heart Association or something like that.
Thought about that.
And especially with young people, because young people they don't usually experience anything like that.
No.
And so now that you've opened up to the group, hopefully that'll make you feel more comfortable.
Yes.
To tell other people, because like I said, we all have a story to.
Yeah, as spiritual beings, Barbara, I've come to know that our trials and tribulations are for us to be a testimony for somebody else.
Absolutely.
Yes, that's very true.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I totally believe that.
That's very true.
Anybody have any questions?
Hey, Barbara, I don't know if you can put this on or not, but if you want me to, I can try. But Dietrich Haddon gives a testimony about the perfect storm.
Is that
It
something
will
that
so
you,
bless everybody's heart, huh? It's
is
on
that something you
YouTube.
want to play? Oh, well, I can bring that up. Do you have YouTube on yours? Because I can share my.
Well,
let
I have
you
my
share it.
phone. I can bring it on. Y'all, I can bring it on when you're ready to listen to it and let you hear him.
Oh, never mind. I'll bring up one here.
Okay.
Hold on.
But it is such a testimony for all of us, what he has to say here. If you type in perfect storm, it comes, if you type in perfect storm, it comes up under that too.
Okay, wait a minute. I'm gonna have to.
And her story, I was gonna share that earlier, but her story is so befitting for that, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Let me see something. Because I had a couple of others. Let me see.
Let me pull
Oh,
it up.
okay. No, never mind. We're gonna watch what you suggested. What is it called again?
Perfect Storm by Dietrich Haddon.
D-E-R. Oh, I think I just saw his name. Right here.
D-I-E-D-R-C-K.
Right here. Haddon. Okay.
But it's the video one. I think it's the first one that may be on that he tells his story.
There's one that's a commentary. That's 1:29. And
What's
then
the other
there's
one
a
say?
perfect storm, 3 minutes and 46 seconds. But that looked like it might be a song.
No, it's this one is a that may be the commentary. See if that's it.
That's only 1:29 though.
Mine says something. Let me pull it up on my phone because it's right here.
Well, let me let you be able to share.
They may not be able to hear me though.
Yeah, now hold on. Let me find it. If
Let me see what it's. I'm just gonna see what it says. Wait a minute.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
Okay.
No, I think it's perfect for what we heard tonight. It might be the commentary.
That's what I'm thinking, but mine doesn't say that.
But let me play it and then you can let us know. And if not, we'll go back. Let me play this. Let's see.
Wow, did you like that song, Do It for Love? Man, that's why we should be doing it. And that's for the love of Jesus and for the love of others. You know,
playing it? I can't hear it.
Showing love to one another. That's what it's all about. The Bible tells you to love your neighbor. Yeah. Here's now when I
Can y'all hear it?
song, I don't
Yes.
cry.
I can hear
I
it.
can't hear it.
I am an
I
emotional
hear it.
person. I was about to say I ain't emotional, but I am emotional, you know.
Mine says masterpiece. It's the one that says
This
masterpiece.
says master. Oh,
soft
okay.
on the
Well, wait a
inside,
minute.
you know.
It does say masterpiece.
And
There's another one that said masterpiece. Wait a minute.
Want me to hit it? I can. It's right here.
Go ahead. Well, I have to let you share your
Oh,
screen.
okay. They won't hear it if I hit it. Okay.
No, wait a minute. Let me let you share. Okay, you can go ahead and try it.
Okay, I'm gonna try it and see. Can you see it?
We just see your letter P. We just see your letter P.
Can you hear him?
No.
No.
Okay, it's not working.
But I
then.
got you. Let me see. Yep, I got you. Okay, let me just try. You said masterpiece. Let me try to bring it up.
I don't want to lose y'all.
Okay.
Okay, I see masterpiece.
Well, it's another one though. This one actually says commentary.
Are you on YouTube?
Yeah.
Okay. If you type in the Perfect Storm gospel song, it'll come up on YouTube.
I'm trying to figure out. Let me see. How do I get rid of this? Let's see.
If I don't have my laptop. If I did, I could have put that on the laptop. At least they could hear it. If not, everybody can listen.
No, wait a minute. I'm gonna figure this out if they don't mind waiting. Let me try to figure this out. Y'all know I'm just teaching myself how to do all this stuff. Just sit tight.
You're all good. I'm gonna get a drink of water though.
Yeah, go ahead.
Break time.
I'm just trying to figure out. Let me see.
Hey, what are you
Okay,
eating?
what
You're not
does it say?
sharing.
What does it say again?
I said she
Popcorn.
eating. You're not sharing.
Okay, Paulette,
Sorry.
what should I be bringing
So
up?
on YouTube, type in the Perfect Storm gospel song.
Okay, here it is.
Do you see the one say masterpiece, probably like third or fourth down?
Masterpiece. Now, this is probably, it says Perfect Storm. It's 3 minutes and 46.
But look for Dietrich, the one from Dietrich Haddon. There's a couple other ones on it.
It's Dietrich.
And go down and it
And
should say
then-
masterpiece. Maybe the fourth one
Right
down
there.
or something.
I think you passed it.
Yeah.
Oh, you can see it right there. I can't. Okay.
Yeah, you can see. This one does, oh, well, maybe this is it. It's 3 minutes. It does say Masterpiece on it.
Yeah, that's the one.
This
It
is
say
the one.
masterpiece. Uh-huh.
Okay. I hate these ads.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Can you hear it, Paulette?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
But that's not the one.
Not the one.
Wait a minute. Maybe he'll start talking in a minute. No, he's talking on the other one.
Okay.
Mm.
Oh, okay.
You hit masterpiece?
Let's see.
I think I saw something further down.
Okay.
It was like fourth or fifth down, maybe. Third, fourth, or fifth down. It's two other guys ahead of him, and then one other guy has Perfect Storm
Oh,
too.
wait a minute. This is not.
Is it the same profile picture on that one you're talking about?
No, he is actually
That's-
sitting a little different, looking like he getting ready to talk to you.
Yeah, because I think I saw that further down.
Okay. Let's see.
It had a white background, I think.
Okay. Let me see. Perfect Storm Gospel Song.
Gospel song.
Okay.
Now scroll down slowly. Because I think I saw something further down. Not that one. It was him, I think, a little further.
Walls are coming now. Let's see.
I thought I saw one.
That's
to
not
the back.
him. Let's see.
No, I thought it was a white background.
One down that far. Could be
No.
on yours though.
Oh, but let me type in his name. I don't have his name up in the search bar.
Okay.
Let's see. I can't even. What was his first name again?
Diedrick. Haddon,
I'm sorry.
Haddon.
I'm sorry, Derek. What? How you spell his first name?
Diedrick. Last name Haddon.
Right. Okay. So let's scroll down.
What's the
Now,
one
is
with the
this
white-
him with the white?
The second one?
Right there.
Yeah, the second one.
With the white
He
shirt.
has a white T-shirt on, but that's only a minute and 25 seconds.
That's
But
it
it's-
right there. Yeah,
that's
right
it?
with the red hat on. Uh-huh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
That's the one I saw earlier.
All right, guys, listen in.
Oh, I like that hair.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Mhm.
Is this it, Paulette?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
It's your boy Dietrich Haddon. I want to talk about this song called Perfect Storm. It's my absolute favorite because it personifies my testimony. It embodies my testimony. First verse says, if someone would have told me that my life would end up like this a few years ago, I would have looked you in the eye and said, how could it be so? But God had a plan that I couldn't see. He used the worst in me to bring out the best in me. It was the perfect storm. When God sends a storm, it's not to blow things out of order, it's to blow things in order. That's the way God does. We're so attached to things that God has to move on your behalf in order to get you to the place where he can bless you. That's what God has done for me. I can say that I wouldn't be where I am. I wouldn't have the life I'm living. I wouldn't be looking at the beautiful children that I have if it wasn't for a storm. And it looked ugly at the time, but I call it the perfect storm. It's a masterpiece. Because everything God does, he does it well. If you're in a storm right now, just remember the storms were designed to pass away. A storm comes and it goes. That's the way it is. Check it out. It's called The Perfect Storm.
Lord knows we're in a storm now.
Yes.
Lord knows it's a storm. And in line with what Paulette shared, I had something else I wanted to share with you guys to fit in with that. Oh, come on now. Wait a minute. Stop.
Thank you, Barbara.
No, thank you.
Yeah, that was good.
Let me see. I got something else though. Let's see.
It's all in how we look at things.
What do you do when your battle chooses you? What do you do when something shows up on your doorstep that you did not directly cause, choose, or definitely anticipate?
Life is not always easy. In fact, some of you today, you're here and you're going through the toughest season of your life. There will be seasons where we will suffer. There will be seasons of real pain. And the question is, how will you respond in those moments?
Life is hard sometimes. Easy, it's not an option. But it's worth fighting. It's worth believing. It's worth giving yourself a chance. It's worth mustering yourself up, standing up inside yourself. It's worth fighting relentlessly, never giving up. It's worth it. You can do it. You can do it.
There's problems that we go through that cause stress, worry, anxiety, and fear, but you might be in the battle of your life. I want to encourage you. It's not about what's happening around you. It's always about what's happening inside of you.
Just because you feel afraid doesn't mean you have to be afraid. Just because you feel discouraged doesn't mean you have to be discouraged. Just because you have fear doesn't mean fear has to have you.
The sentence out of your mouth is a story that you are putting out. I'm not gonna make it. I quit. Let's get a divorce. Business is never coming back. We've lost too many people. I've made too many mistakes. I'm a failure. Nobody can help me. I've done too many bad things. I don't know what's coming out of your mouth, but it's a death sentence. And as you continue to confess it and as you continue to declare it, well, don't be surprised when it becomes true in your life. We have to make sure that whenever I feel, when I think a death sentence, I must speak a life sentence.
Life sentence, yes.
Oh, I'm feeling the sentence of death. I'm feeling the thoughts of anxiety. I'm feeling the thoughts that I'm done. I feel like I've been used and it hurts and it's difficult, but when that happens, I start speaking out a life sentence. No, I'm just gonna keep showing up. No, I'm gonna get back up. The righteous man, he falls 7 times, but he gets back up.
Never give up, never give in, because skill can't get you past certain things. Quickness, agility can't get you. You gotta have mental toughness. Pain ain't permanent. Your pain ain't permanent. You can get through this. You bigger than your pain. You better than that.
Come on, you need to remember, this is not the first time you cried. This is not the first time you were short of breath. This is not the first time you didn't see a way clear. This is not the first time you were hurt. This is not the first time your heart was broken. This is not the first time you didn't have enough money. This is not the first diagnosis that came up from behind.
Say, I'm gonna live to tell the story. This too shall pass. I will remain. I'm not gonna quit. Every one of my burdens, there's a blessing on the inside of it. If you don't quit, you will win, baby.
You're gonna work through this. You're going to get up, you're going to get dressed, you're going to get out, and you're going to do what you've been called to do. You're going to be what you called to be, and you're going to prove that everybody that tried to break you, everybody that tried to stop you, everybody that tried to kill your dream, you're going to prove all of them wrong.
Just keep coming back. If you got nothing left to give, just show back up. Half of life, man, is just showing up.
And I'm telling you right now, don't give up. I'm telling you right now, don't give in. Get through it. And if you can get through it, if you can work through your pain, I'm guaranteeing you, on the other side is a reward. Pain is not permanent. Pain is temporary.
All right now.
Yeah, you know, I always be trying to find something to show at these meetings, and I wasn't really prepared tonight, and I saw that, and I said, Lord, we need that. And Paulette, one of the things I absolutely adore about you is that you are always so positive.
That comes with age in life.
Yeah, but girl, sometimes, I mean, I be trying sometimes, but I be like, Lord have mercy, help me through this.
Yeah,
but
it's really, it takes training, but it's all, that's like the guy just said, first of all, thoughts are things.
Yeah.
It's also what we speak out of our mouth. We speak life or death. And so I've just learned to speak life. And I tell people it's called rephrasing. Whenever, even if I say something and I say it negatively, I'm like, whoa, let me back up. I always rephrase it to speak what I need, to speak what I want, no matter how bad it is, whether it's showed up or not. But that takes training. And before we end, I just want to let you know, if you let me close with a song by, you can play it, but it's by Tasha called Why Not Me?
I'm gonna put you on the spot, if you don't mind, because I know you're training, and I know how. Would you be able to maybe at our next meeting, which is October the 8th, because this is a tough time. I mean, this is like unbelievable.
See what you just said? And it is a tough time, but I don't keep speaking that.
Right.
You know?
So what I'm saying, could you help us maybe at the next meeting, help us learn how to rephrase some of all of the stuff that's going on?
Sure.
So if you're, it's
the next mini session. Yeah, a
little bit, October the 8th.
Okay.
If you're available.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So what I got to play now?
Oh, Tasha, Tasha.
Okay. Wait.
Song is called Why Not Me?
Well, before I play your song, I'm gonna play something that I want to play. And
you can say my song for next time. If or you
no.
I
mean, unless anybody got to rush off.
Yeah, people may have to go. Okay.
Anybody got to go? Anybody?
Y'all better not leave now. It's starting to get good.
Can y'all
really?
spend like maybe,
even better.
Can y'all spend like another 10 minutes, maybe, if that much?
Sure.
There's some healing in the land. Stay, y'all.
Okay, so I'm just gonna play something.
So
I'm gonna play something funny. And Antoinette, you saw this Saturday. This is something I played on Saturday when I had my laughter yoga thing. But I think we just need a little laugh. So I'm gonna play this.
Oh yeah.
Here's to y'all.
Wait a minute.
It's funny.
Hey, how are y'all doing? Listen, I have a question for you. Do you find yourself sneaking in the kitchen just a little bit more than you like to these days? You do? Not me. Honey, I run to the kitchen like a boss, like my butt is on fire, and the fire extinguisher is under the kitchen sink. I'm in my kitchen so much, y'all, I'm just thinking about putting my bed on one side of the refrigerator, a porta potty on the other side. I'd just be set. It's awful. Can any of y'all relate to this? I tell you what, let me just tell you about my days. Let me tell you. Jolene needs to come take my refrigerator is what she needs to do when she comes and gets my man. I tumble out of bed and I stumble to my kitchen all the way. I'm conviction cause I'm eating everything inside. True story. First it's chips, then it's candy. I'm eating anything that's candy. I'm gaining weight cause I'm eating 9 to 5. Eating 9 to 5. Y'all, this is crazy. I am gaining weight and getting fat and lazy. I just feed my face. My pants aren't fitting. I swear I'm eating like it's it's frozen, eating anything I can get my hands on. If I don't stop, I'm gonna weigh a ton. This is crazy, y'all. If I step on the scale, they will shatter, apparently. It don't matter, cause I just keep eating anyway. I'm in the same boat with a lot of my friends. Lordy, when will this quarantine end? Thanks to COVID, I'll never be skinny again. I'm eating 9 to 5. Yeah, oh, this is crazy. I am gaining weight. I'm getting fat and lazy. I can't seem to stop. I done ate all the chicken. The Colonel's right. It was finger licking. 9 to 5. Yeah.
She's happy too.
I can now wave bye-bye with my arm. I'm so big, I can't get through the door. I guess they'll have to roll me on the floor. 9 to 5. Yeah, all this is crazy. I am gaining weight. I'm getting fat and lazy. I drink lots of Pepsi and Mountain Dew too. My feet are so big, I can't put on my shoes. 9 to 5. Yeah, all this ain't funny. I am kinda worried. I'll eat the Easter bunny if he walks around here. He'll end up in my tummy, and with some chocolate, he might be yummy. 9 to 5. Oh, I gotta stop eating. I am gonna pop. If I just don't stop eating, I need Jenny Craig and Weight Watchers too. I've ate so much, I'm too tired to chew.
I know this one. She said she's too tired to chew.
Too tired to chew.
Sound like me. I drink a lot.
All
Too
right.
tired to chew.
Here's to y'all.
That was good.
So,
Yeah,
Paulette,
cute.
the song you want's on YouTube?
Yes.
Okay.
That was funny.
TASHA.
Let me see.
While looking for her, that's how I found Dietrich Haddon. So God bless me to want to share that.
See if I can. I can't figure out something that I played, how to get rid of it and just do a new so wait a minute. Oh, okay. I think I found it.
It's 2 girls on the front of the
Okay, so what am I looking for, Paul? What am I looking for?
TASHA.
Okay, wait a minute. TH.
No, TA, Tasha. TASHA. Song is Why Not Me. I got some tissue.
Tasha Lockett.
It just says, she said Cobb. It just says Tasha on the album though.
Tasha Cobb.
She said Cobb, C-O-B-B.
C-O-B-B.
Oh, Cobb.
Why you got a different YouTube than I got?
There you go.
Because probably got a different browser.
Ah, okay.
What browser you use?
I don't know.
I know.
It's always, well, she's on the
Tasha, okay. No, why not me? Okay.
Treat your hair and scalp to a nourishing detox with Nexus Clean and Pure. Our award-winning scalp scrub and lightweight shampoo and conditioner are free from silicones, dyes, and parabens. Restore shine for healthy-looking hair. Treat yourself to Nexus Clean and Pure.
What happened?
I've been on Noom for 4 months. I've lost 27 pounds, and I feel like I got my life back.
I've been on Noom for 4 months.
We see a Google page.
Can you see her?
No, just see Google.
You don't see her?
When I look in the mirror, I see a girl.
Let me see something. Maybe I didn't. Okay. Okay, hopefully you can you see it? See her now?
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah. Boy, y'all working me, Paulette.
All for the good. All for the good.
Beautifully broken. When I look in the mirror, I see a girl, beautifully broken, perfectly flawed. I don't even know how I made it this far. And I'm asking myself questions like, why did I do it? Why did this happen to me? Then I said, you can get through it. You just have to believe what I do now. Gotta make it all count. So why not me? I'm the perfect person to go through this storm. It won't break me, it won't kill me, I'll move on. And then I'll come out even better than before. And I'll never see this place anymore. Cause my faith is getting stronger every day. I'm removing everything that's in my way. And the fact that I survived another day makes me say, why not me? Why not me? Why? One day I'm up, the next I'm down. Problems coming faster than I can count. Who can I run to? No one to talk to. Can somebody tell me what to do? Why did I do it? Why did this happen to me? You can get through it. You just have to believe what I do now. Gotta make it all count. So why not me? I'm the perfect person to go through this storm. It won't break me, it won't kill me, I'll move on. Then I'll come out even better than before. And I'll never see this place anymore. Cause my faith is getting stronger every day. I'm removing everything that's in my way. And the fact that I survived another day. This is my moment, there's no turning back. It took me a while, but I have no regrets. I've given my all, letting go of the past. I'm not gonna break,
Amen.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
And Sharon, thank you once again for
Thank you,
sharing
Sharon.
your story. And
Yes, thank you.
like Paulette said, you have a purpose.
Yeah.
So you might have to start virtually. I don't know when we'll be able to get back out there, but you can start virtually because that really is a beautiful story that you have. Is Miss Smith still on here? Tanya Smith, are you still on? No, she's gone. Okay. Anybody have anything they would like to say, add, comment on?
Can you hear me, Barb? It's Rhonda.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Just real quick for Sharon. I don't know if this is my third or fourth time, but I always remember. I know that from the first time I've seen the pictures, I'm like, oh, she's so pretty.
Oh, thank you.
She has a calm and kind of, like glowing.
Oh, thank you.
It's really, I noticed that from the beginning. And I certainly think that raising children is like a huge purpose. I don't have children, but anybody who raises children is like, man, that's your purpose.
That's the job.
But to have gone through what she went through at such a young age,
I can't
the
imagine.
young people need to hear that, especially with all the stress and everything they're going through. They think nothing can happen to them.
Yeah.
So hopefully we have helped you realize that you have a responsibility to share.
Yes, you do.
You have ain't no option.
Yeah.
You have a responsibility to share. Right, Paulette?
I said, get her, Barbara.
Yeah. I told the ladies when I first started, I said, oh, y'all gonna have to share your testimony because we all got one.
Yeah.
So Sharon, I really appreciate you sharing your story. I'm sure it has helped these ladies and it certainly has helped me. And Paulette, I look forward to you on the 8th because I really do need to be careful with my words.
Yeah.
And
when I speak on the 8th, I will just briefly share a bit of my story, the downfall to how I got to where I am now.
Yeah, because girl, you something now, girl.
Because it's not always about a physical failure. It could be anything. It could be just checking out of life for whatever reason. It could be that. It could be finances. So I'll just share here.
Right. And there is actually something in Zoom that's like a whiteboard. So like if you want to write stuff down, people can see it. I mean, I got to figure out how to use it. But y'all don't laugh because I bet y'all can't do it. I bet y'all can't play no YouTube and Zoom. Hello.
I couldn't even find the link.
I come a long way.
I keep a young person around me all the time.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah, you have to. So ladies, thank you all. And I pray that we all will stay safe until we meet again. Stay positive. You know, on my personal page and in the group, I'm always trying to put something positive there. But some days are a little harder than others. But with Paula, I'm gonna try to watch what I say with my words.
Absolutely.
Because I do know.
Speak it forward.
I'm gonna speak because girl, I'm all of that, honey. I'm all of that in 2 bags of chips,
right?
So what do you mean in bag? I'm 2 bags. So on that note, ladies, have a safe week. Wear your mask. Stay safe. And thank you so much for spending your time with me. Vanessa, one person, Miss Boston lady, are you able to unmute yourself to say hi? She's new to this. Okay. I hope she comes back on October the 8th.